also to help you and support you the initiatives of WynActive and Wyndham City. Welcome. It's great to see you back again, and what a week it's been, hasn't it? It's been a big week. We've had some great guests on, and I'm once again looking forward. I say that every time, don't I? I'm really looking forward to speaking to our special guest today, and but someone a little bit different, bring a different perspective to things. Hey James, how are you? And would you like to introduce our special guest today?
Yes, thank you, Barry, and yeah, to introduce today, I think we're really fortunate enough to have someone who's very much at that community face to face with the community each and every day. And I'd like to introduce Anthony Hurst, Youth and Family Counsellor from Windham City Council. Welcome, Anthony, to the WynActive webcast.
Thank you guys for having me. It's good to be here.
Oh, we're excited to have you, as I said, and yeah, thanks for coming on. It's great, and really looking forward to hearing some of the things that you've been dealing with during this time of crisis. It's a strain on everyone. In fact, I was on your website. I've got it right in front of me now, but and I read this definition of coping on your website, which is successfully struggling or something like that. It doesn't say that everything's fine. It's a struggle for all of us, but are you doing it successfully? And I reckon if you're surviving, you're doing it successfully. So I love, that's just one little thing I picked up today, Anthony.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we do talk a lot in that space of, coping and resilience. And I think one of the newer definitions of resilience, I think, to kind of even add on to that, is this idea of they're talking now a lot about bouncing forward rather than bouncing back. So this idea that you're never actually going to be able to go back to exactly the person that you were before different things have occurred, but it's about bouncing forward and kind of taking with you in your stride your new sort of experiences and, things that have happened to you, but then moving forward towards, the next part of your life. So yeah, maybe we should get that one up there too, because that's one of the ones I'm liking a lot at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. Talk to whoever does your website and get it up there. It's really good stuff, isn't it? Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, one thing we really like to do is to get to know our guests a little bit more. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up doing this really important role?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess in terms of my background, in terms of getting into sort of psychology and counselling, I think I was one of those lucky few that kind of did it at high school and went, oh, I kind of like that, and then followed it through into uni and went, oh, very lucky again that I just happen to still like what I'm doing. And then, because I think for a lot of people, like, you're drawn to different things at different times in your life, and that changes over people's lives, or sometimes they get into something and find actually that's not what I thought it was, or now that I've tried out some other different things, I find that I'm, much more drawn that way. I think was just really, lucky, I guess, to have just kind of gone, still liking this, yep, still liking that. And so, yeah, kind of followed that right through and finished off all my studies in psych. And then, went and, did some work in schools, some work in private practice, and then, of course, working with youth services with Wyndham City Council.
Brilliant. And Anthony, I suppose during this time of change, Windham is a fast-growing community, and as we've had the Mayor Josh Gilligan on talk about how quickly Windham is changing and the different sorts of cultures that are now making up Windham. What are you finding? What are you finding as that voice between the community and the council as some of the challenges youth and family are facing during these times? And do you have any, I suppose, from there, any sort of tips or tricks that they might be able to take back into their household as well to manage through this period?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great question because, you know, I think myself and just talking to the other counselling team, we've kind of noticed something tend to happen that, you know, a lot of people that we've been working with, it's kind of gone through a bit of a period where we might have been having actually quite regular sessions, you know, with some young people and families. And there's been like a bit of a dip and a bit of a drop off, which at first I kind of went, oh, I wonder what that might, you know, be about. But then went, oh, of course that makes sense, because if we think about what people's needs are, everyone is, you know, adjusting to the real practicalities of all the differences in their life. So, you know, possibly not going to school anymore, possibly not going to work anymore, possibly having, you know, living in a different home. So some people have moved back into a family home or out of a particular home, or all kinds of different things. And so I think one thing that's been really useful for a lot of the people we've been working with is people that have actually been able to give themselves a bit of a pat on the back for all of that transition that they've been going through. So just recognizing that it's probably a bit unrealistic that any of us are living the exact same life we were a month ago, but that progressively through, you know, putting different things in place, you know, we'll sort of be able to return to that. So I think some people that have tended to, you know, at least tell me that they're starting to do a bit better is I think they're just getting a bit better at giving themselves a bit of acknowledgement around all of the change that they've dealt with, and understanding that while everyone's going on adrenaline, so okay, yep, so now I'm studying from home, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that, I'm no longer doing this, that's cancelled, you know, that's not happening that way anymore, we can't any longer do this. And while everyone's going on adrenaline, a lot of people can sort of just go boom, 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 and do a lot of things. But then once there's a little bit of calm, then people can kind of become really exhausted and really start to struggle quite a lot, because you've got that bit of stillness to, you know, kind of reflect on, I guess, all of the change that's gone on, because, you know, adrenaline can only last for so long. And I guess just also recognizing that all of that is really difficult, but really normal.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you think, and I'll be really interested, and I've pondered this question myself, as a society and individuals within society, do you think once we get through this, we will have, I'm not sure how to say it, better resilience, greater resilience, or will we crumble? What are your thoughts with your knowledge and expertise?
Yeah, do you know, it's really interesting because, I mean, you know, I'm quite interested in this area of resilience, and one of the models I work with really talks about the neuroscientific foundations of resilience. So one thing I've always struggled with resilience, yeah, often we can talk about it a lot, but everyone's got a very different definition. So, you know, what I'm talking about when I talk about resilience is very different to James when he's talking about resilience, which is very different to you, Barry, when you're talking about resilience. And so, you know, some people are talking about, you know, the bouncing forward, some people are talking about management in the moment, and, you know, all kinds of things. But one of the things that I think is really interesting, and I guess really interesting talking to you guys, is the model of resilience that I work with, you know, picks up on a range of different factors that contribute to resilience, but puts physical health at the base of it. So no matter what else is going on, if your physical health is not flourishing, that's going to very significantly impact on your ability to regulate your emotions, to future plan, goal set and achieve those goals, to collaborate and engage with other people, whether that's, you know, a professional support person like me or a friend or a family member. Everything actually becomes compromised when our physical health is compromised. And I think that's, I don't know about you guys, but I just find that's actually so true for me, that if I have even just, I think, one night of terrible sleep, it's a different Anth in the morning.
I don't think you get any arguments from us, James.
No, that really resonates with me as well, Anthony. And I suppose we all come from from those different backgrounds that really, you know, we're a creature of our own habits. And I suppose, you know, for me, physical activity is an outlet to manage that. So, you know, if we can manage our physical health from that perspective, then, you know, I'm sure the benefits from a mental well-being perspective are increased. But naturally, physical health is such a broad term, and you know, it's not all horses for courses. There's different, you know, what works for one might work differently for others.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anthony, one thing that we love to do here on the WynActive webcast is practice gratitude.
Yeah.
And so the question to our guest is always, what are you grateful for today? So, yeah, what are you grateful for today?
So, look, I've got to say, there's a lot of things I'm grateful for, and I reflect a lot on, you know, being, you know, that a lot of people are really quite struggling for a whole range of different reasons. So, you know, there are lots and lots of different things I'm grateful for at the moment. The one today, I think, is having a TV in my lounge room that connects to YouTube. So I've just started doing like some online sort of exercise classes and just finding, you know, different ones on YouTube, and that's been great. So something I've never done prior to this situation, but you know, got my Kmart gym mat, and off I go.
Brilliant. What's your favourite class at the moment, Anthony? What is what are you doing?
So look, this is the really funny part of it for me. You know, I am in no way a gym junkie of any sort, but they're always very curious and very interested about doing different things. So what does YouTube do when you finish one video? It brings up a whole recommendation list of all these other ones.
Yeah.
So, you know, this morning there was this boxing class that we were doing, and I thought, this is great. I've never done a boxing class, you know, in my life, and they're saying all these words that I've got no clue what they're talking about. They're talking about southpaw. I go, if it's not about a dog, I don't know what a paw is, but just trying to follow what they're doing on the screen, you know, something I would probably never do in person either, because I'd be too embarrassed, that I'd be too uncoordinated, you know, so maybe a bit of a nice little side benefit out of this. YouTube, you know, YouTube exercise classes on the TV in my living room.
Brilliant. I think that, yes, Barry, you know, as we complete our daily webcast, Barry and I have to come together and you know, have our daily gratitude taking. And I suppose for me today, I'm grateful for Jack Reacher and Lee Child's books, because I'm not much of a reader. I suppose I would spend, you know, my leisure time trying to be active, going for walks and whatnot. So when I do have the opportunity to read, and it's a valuable tool, and I think it really it's taught me to sort of relax in a different perspective, you know, and focus. When you are reading, you know, you sort of switch off from daily life. So I'm trying to get through the Jack Reacher books. There's a few of them out there, but yeah, I'm appreciative for that storyline, because it's an easy read for me, and something that I'm interested in. So that's my that's what I'm very grateful for today. But Barry, what about yourself? What are you grateful for?
Yeah, look, Anthony, and you've watched a couple of these WynActive webcasts, and sometimes we get quite profound and deep, etc. So we've been pretty light today, which is great, and I love it, because my thing that I'm really grateful for is just before this whole COVID-19 crisis, I got a new iPad, right?
Yes.
And I love sitting down in the morning and reading the paper on my iPad. It just, I don't know, it just sets the day up for me. It gives me some quiet time. I'll have a coffee. I'll read the paper. No paper, of course. It's on the iPad. My old iPad used to shut down and lose its battery and all of this. So none of those dramas anymore. And then quite often at night, I don't do exercise classes to YouTube, but I'll sit there and I'll just flick through YouTube and see what's there as well. And it's something that's opened up for me, because I've got the new iPad, which is so much better than the old iPad 2 that I had for many, many years. So that's what I'm really grateful for it, and every day I get the benefits of it. So yeah,
that's great.
Brilliant. So
Yeah.
Anthony, I suppose the youth services team, their service delivery has changed over the past weeks and months. We've seen the food bank come up that the youth services are helping out with. Can you tell us a bit about that and what the food bank is doing within the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So a range of youth services sites have been engaging in with food banks for quite a while now, and it's really great service where basically people of the community can come to the youth resource centre in Hoppers Crossing, and we can basically provide them some groceries to take home with them. And it's a really really difficult thing, I think, for a lot of people to do. But from our perspective, we kind of sit here, one of our YDOs, Brett, posted a video about it on our socials the other day, kind of showing all the stuff we've got out there. And so I guess from our perspective, we're like, you know what, we've got all this stuff here. If anyone needs anything, please come and take it, because it does nothing sitting on a shelf. There it's of use to nobody. So, for anybody who's sort of needing any of that additional, support, that can be something that's really useful. And often we get to have a chat with people when they come in, just while we're grabbing all those groceries and whatnot, because sometimes we find actually what's also useful is that there might be some other support that might be helpful to them. So it wouldn't be unusual that for me, if I'm there having a chat with someone, they might also then decide to come and catch up with me for counselling or something like that, because they find that maybe that's something for them that they think would be useful. Or sign up for one of our weekly programs that we would usually run at the Youth Resource Centre or our other sites, not obviously currently, but historically. So it's also been just a really nice way for people to come in and get some of the groceries and material support they need, but then also just find out a little bit generally about what other services and things would be helpful for them.
Anthony, have you found there's a great need for it within the community at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it was definitely evident to us, I think, prior that, food bank, but prior to COVID-19, that food bank was, really, 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 really essential for some of the young people and families.
Well, Anthony's just frozen there, Jack.
Engage with. But I think even more so, the vast numbers that are coming through the door. I can't recall them off the top of my head, but you get emails from the team about how many people are coming through, and they've skyrocketed. And we're not surprised. Like, it's a really, really tough time.
Hopefully he'll come back in just a moment. But James, obviously that food bank is really providing a crucial service to the community, and I think what Anthony was saying there was that it's becoming more and more important to the community. So full marks to the youth services team and to Windham City Council for providing that. And just until we get Anthony back, and
so many. And am I back?
Oh,
yes,
you're back there.
Am I back?
Anthony. Yes.
I am back.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but I was just saying how you were talking about it's obviously such an essential service within the community and becoming more and more in demand. And well done to you guys and your team and Windham City Council as well, of course, for helping it. Tell us about some of the other ways you're helping the youth in Windham and get through these tough times.
Yeah, so I think, there's a range of different things that are going on for within the team and always growing. What I would say to people is that whatever I tell you today is what we're doing. there's probably going to be even more stuff happening by the time, this goes live, because we've got so many of our youthies working on a range of different projects. Off the top of my head, there's a range of our weekly programs that would typically run face-to-face, like a girls' night where, a whole bunch of girls can basically come together, have some food, hang out and do some activities. And Gamers Den where, young people can come together and, play games together and things like that. Some of these programs are now being trialled online. So trying to move those into an online space. Gamers Den, which one of our youth workers, Jordan, is working on, just feels like the perfect, mix for the online space, right? We do have a range of those programs going, but a lot of our youthies as well have been investing a lot of their time into our social media and our online presence. So lots of different little videos and clips, working on getting some young people to produce some content that can go online. So lots of different things that they can be engaging with, while they're at home, but still, keeping in touch and touching base with us. And then, of course, our counselling service, which has moved completely online to, video calls like this. Usually I'm a little less flaky and drop out a bit less than what I have today. But video calls, or some of our young people prefer, more sort of I am in chat, or, a phone call, just depending on, what's most useful for them. And that's, almost everything we do is a free service to the community. So there's lots and lots of different things happening. And I think every single day, we have catch-ups as a team and someone goes, oh, I've got an idea, I'm going to do this, and then our coordinator and area leaders go, great, love it, let's roll with it. And so the other thing I would say is that if you're ever interested in what's going on, to jump on our website and check, or just, give us a call, and find out a bit about, what are some of the different things going on, because, we've got, so many different projects and things going on. I'm just recalling as well, there's a youth civic and participation project for young people that are interested in politics and government, and working out how they can get, to Canberra and sort of see how all that stuff goes. So, lots of really cool and interesting things going on, but I guess you never really know until you contact us or look on our website. So I'd really encourage people to be doing that.
Brilliant. And I'm sure we'll include some contact information within the webcast itself, Anthony. But if people wanted some health or wanted some help and wanted to contact the youth services team, jump onto the council website and go to youth services. It's pretty clearly marked there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they can make a referral or an inquiry to counselling just directly from the online website if they think that would be a bit easier for them to do. But they could, anyone can also call us and just find out generally about what we're doing and what we're offering. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Just before we finish up for today, and Anthony, it's been great and fascinating to listen to you, but big shout out to Jamie Cookie, WynActive and Youth Services, myself and Cookie. We started tunes at the pool, at Werribee Outdoor Pool over summer. Unfortunately, it wasn't a hot summer and we didn't have a lot of hot nights there, but those that we did, your guys, the youth services team, were fantastic and really added to the atmosphere and the ambience at the pool. So, yeah, fantastic stuff. Good on you, Cookie. Hey, Anthony, thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it. I've, as I said, been fascinated listening to you and everything that you do and what about you and your team. Really appreciate it. James, another great webcast, mate. Well done.
Thank you. No, thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Barry. Really keen to get into our next webcast. And yeah, we appreciate you coming on, Anthony, and joining us and giving up your time. And yeah, for caring about the youth and the families of Windham. Yeah, it's not understated the importance the youth services team play. And yeah, if you need some help, then the youth services team are there to help you. So please reach out to them, because there's some, WynActive is made up of our wonderful children and youth, Barry, isn't that right? So yeah, it's important that they continue to be supported. But yes, Barry, look forward to our next webcast. And until then, for everyone at home, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you soon.
Keep
Awesome.
smiling,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys.
See ya. Thanks.